put it on for great expectations.
So what's George up to next? Is he doing anything anymore?
Well, he's doing so much publicising because Armand here has got a website as well.
Okay.
And he's selling through here as well as Amazon because he's publicising that and he's changed all the other websites to show that they can come here, which is nice.
And then
This has taken 10 years.
Not really.
A lot of research, a lot of work. But it's fun.
Good.
Nice kids in it, you know, young people.
They need to have a cap on populations, and you agree on that. And so there's childbirth licensing. So your grandchildren's children will probably only have one child. The problem is, as the United Nations gets more and more success and engages and has democracy and free elections and health and safety and freedom for people and prosperity around the planet, which we all hope is going to happen in the next 50 years, we're going to jump from a highly developed population of 1 billion to 9 or 10 billion, highly developed. Well, there's no way that the planet can accommodate that. So if you get a tenfold increase, we need 250 million square kilometers, which is double the amount of space the planet has. So there's absolutely no way. So the picture, I mean, the book is not heavy on that. The book is about the characters, how they're living with each other. But the background, what they're living in, is much reduced accommodation. And they're loving it. They enjoy it. That's what they're used to. It's what your grandchildren's children are going to be living like. They're going to be sharing accommodations more and more. And it's a different lifestyle. The idea of living in space. It's already happening. The Chinese have just done a successful docking to a space station. The States too has really got that vision. In 2006, the administrator for NASA, Griffin, made a speech in which he likened the Lewis and Clark expedition across North America to the exploration in space today. Only he went on to say that the exploration in space is not just scientific anymore, it's the acquisition of space. The thing is, the West, the acquisition of space, it starts with the International Space Station and it'll go on to colonizing space in an international way. The Chinese are doing it as a military initiative and it's going to lead to wars. What happens in the book, the characters are living this life on Earth and they're genetically modified youngsters to live in space. What we see as man's intervention causing climate change, we all feel that that's not the whole picture. The planet itself is got a physical, it's changing physically. And there's reason for that. The Earth's rotation is slowing. Stresses build up and every now and again they give way over a period of time. And that's what I believe happened at the time of the dinosaurs. There was a 3 million year period of really serious movement of continents and climate. They have to find that out because that's happening again now. It's beginning to happen now, right now. But it's happening more and more in the book. But it is about the characters. There's this undercurrent of the science, of what they're discovering. And it's intentionally to make it very realistic, real world issues that are going to be discussed in the United Nations over the next few years, like population, like climate, like natural disasters and so on, and even going into space. All of those issues are in the background of the book, but it's about the characters, how they join together as strangers to start this new life in space, how they get on with each other, how they adapt to the new situation. So it's very much a story about the people. But as you'll see in the glossary at the back, it's highly scientific as well. So that's it in a nutshell, really.
What do you have the population as at that time?
Well, I'm going with Al Gore and everyone else there. It's 9 or 10 billion. where I differ from them is they stop there and say it's going to grow to 9 or 10 billion. They haven't looked at the fact that there'll be more freely electing the people with equal disposable incomes that we have.
Would it be very expensive to buy some sort of imaginary land outside this landscape? Because it would be very, very crowded.
Out in space?
Yeah.
No, one of the points I'm trying to make is that when they really get their minds down to it, it's not nearly as expensive as they think. All the materials that you need to make a craft in space are on the moon. You don't have to take it from Earth.
Oh, I see.
There's no big expense. And it all can be built by timeshare. And there's lots of people who can afford to do that. Once you're out there living, once you've got the basic equipment up there, then you can keep going and it's not too expensive.
It's simply fascinating.
Then we went to America and lived in an area, Chappaqua, where the Clintons are now, and then it was all forest land. So as kids, we roamed in the forest. So I had a very early baptism, if you like, into nature and the whole concept of Gaia. What Jared Diamond has written in his book Collapse is also very much part of my thinking, that we have constantly occupied an area, built enormous temples and so on, but to the extent where we've exhausted the local resources and it's collapsed. And that's his book, Collapse. We've constantly done that through history, and we're doing it again.
Don't you think that's what 2012 is about? Like right now, the Mayan calendar and the rain and, Colorado's burning down, we're flooding. Is that not naturally happening?
Yeah. But that comes out very thinly. It's just there in the conversations, in their discoveries. The main thing is the fun of the characters and the way their lives are changing from living on Earth to living in space.
So you go in November.
Yes, yeah.
You're both bright enough to go to university anyway.
A380s.
Yes, right, yes, yeah.
And Virgin Atlantic.
Yes, yes.
That's a very good.
That's in my lifetime.
That's where we